I'm going to give you just a quick reminder of the program design, and we're going to go through this, and I'll show you how easy it is. And so the ease of using this form here, you can see this is a patient who had cardiovascular, mental health, and digestive issues. So pathway one, we wanted to remove the excess cortisol. We ran her cortisol test, and her cortisol was through the roof. She woke up super stressed. Midday, she's super stressed. Late afternoon, evening, super stressed. Before bed, cortisol elevated. Poor lady. And so we wanted to repair the damage in her cardiovascular system. She had a TIA, her immune system, digestive and endocrine system, and then regulate the central nervous, regenerate the central nervous system. So you know, freedom from anxiety. I have not filled this in all the way to get it to her, but you know, we're gonna freedom from anxiety, digestive issues, immune impairment, future cardiovascular events. I mean, all those things is what she wants freedom from. Freedom to enjoy greater health, avoid more medications or surgery, have lifelong energy and vitality, and then greater levels of happiness and comfort with food. Because any food she eats, it triggers her, and she's lost like 40 pounds, so she's withering. So wellness plan, a 12-month wellness plan. We're going to open these 3 pathways, increase vitality and energy, and then promote immune integrity. Because when we looked at her immune system, her monocytes were about 11, and then her neutrophils were low, and her lymphocytes were elevated. I think they're about 50. So she had some issues in her immune system. So some of the tests, what we're going to do is blood, stool, saliva 2 times a year. Treatments start off epitalin, thymosin alpha-1, BPC, and thymosin beta-4. Some of the supplements right out of the gates, some DHEA, magnesium, trace minerals, pregnenolone, and then acupuncture and nutrition. The teaching curriculum, we're going to get her in the HACS, the Health Accelerator course, have her start working with the health coach, do some vagal tone, gargling, gagging. Kind of weird to write down gagging on a, is that weird to you, Cade, or is that just me? Like, I want you to gag yourself out. But
no, it does sound a little odd, but when you're working on the vagal tone, I guess, yeah, I get it.
That's really important. Cold exposure with ice baths or cold showers, binaural beats. You know, the cold exposure can be one of the best ways to restore that vagal tone. You know, when you that kind of gasp, that's a great way of just triggering. You get this nice epinephrine release and norepinephrine, and it's a way of really harmonizing the vagal tone. And they found in studies that your heart rate variability can get recalibrated. You can reset your entire heart rate variability. So if you wake up and you've got low variability in your heart rate, that means the contraction and relaxation of the heart. You know, and when you're working on cardiac function, you want to make sure that that contraction's strong and the relaxation strong, the sympathetic and parasympathetic. And the cold can get that intense sympathetic, but then it allows the body to relax even more with the epinephrine and norepinephrine, and then you get the endorphins that come in afterwards. So, so that's her teaching curriculum. Here's what's going to happen in the next 12 months. Number one, we're going to remove inflammation. We're going to do a liver detox. We're going to clean up the diet. We're going to do lab reviews, you know, focus on an anti-inflammatory diet and approach, work on peptides, functional medicine. You're going to get a program design. That's phase 1. The transformation is we're going to repair the damage by decreasing intestinal permeability, restore adrenal and immune function, correct blood sugar and liver health. And then phase 3 is 6 to 12 months. This is the regenerative side. This is where I always tell people that 6-month mark, this is where the real work on your health begins, because the first 6 months is just taking care of all the baggage from the past. The next 6 to 12 months, this is how we're really going to get your body accelerating into brand new levels of health. So we're going to, you know, use some of the growth hormone peptides. We're going to work on the immune, the sleep, and circadian cycles. So how many of you are using your program design? And so this is what it looks like. We've shared this with you guys so that when you go into your patients, especially in your day 2, when you have the blood work in front of you, You go through and you tell them, here's the 3 things we're going to get rid of. These are the pathways we want to really focus on. Paula likes the word pathways, Dr. Paula. So I said, I think we should put pathways in here. And so that was her insight. The result, you have freedom from, what do you want to get rid of? What do you want to have in your life? So this is a way to recap what you've already talked to them about in their initial ROF. Okay, so just so you know, today we've got a wellness plan that we put together for you. It's a 12-month wellness program, and we're going to go through all of the 3, 4, 5 method in order for you to retain and reclaim your health independence. And so at the end of this, you can either take what I've given you and do it on your own and work at this based on the knowledge that you have from your blood labs, or you can decide to move forward and we'll get you enrolled in a health program. We accept 5 people a week in our program. And the good news is we do have a place for you. We just need to know, because our orientation is tomorrow. So if this works for you, great. I'd love to get you in this week's group. Some of the testing we want to do based on what your labs, and we're going to go through this, but it's the saliva, the stool, and then we're going to need to do a repeat blood test in about 5 to 6 months. Treatments, you'd write down the treatments, and then here's your teaching curriculum, just like I wrote in up here. So Cade, how are you going to feel if someone actually did that much work before they came to see you?
Yeah. Impressed.
Yeah, they offer you a program and it's like, oh, wow, there's actually been some thought put into this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think, it really just lines it out of what, it takes out kind of the guessing work or the imagination of the patient, where it's like, they can't contextualize it. No, this is great. Oh yeah, it looks like you may be using an older version. There's a few misspellings on there. Just FYI.
Are there? Okay. Whoops. Annie, do you mind sending me the new one if you've got a second? Was that from Annie?
Yeah, I'll send it over.
Okay. Whoops.
Yeah, this was the first draft copy that you have right now, so I'll make sure you get all the new ones.
All right. Thank you. I didn't even notice. Shows what a good speller I am. All right. So transformation. Then you go through, people need a roadmap. And we talked about this in the ROF training in session 2. We talked about roadmap, the roadmap to decision. And then the book I want everyone to read before session 3 is Inked. So read that book. I don't recall the author's name, but Inked is just so good as far as just getting that signature on the line and just helping a person make that commitment where they believe in a bigger future for their health and they're willing to invest in it. Because once they can see that there's this clear pathway, this linear approach that they're taking, even though we all know it's not linear, but we need to know that there is a pathway and there's a structure, then their confidence levels will go sky high. So when you have these thyroid patients that come in, run their blood work, do your due diligence, get your program design put together, have your programs, the fees need to be put together properly, your programs need to be carefully thought out if you want to be profitable. If you're not a profitable business, then it's going to be hard to help people. And then once they come in, you've got the program written out, you've got usually 2 programs, a 6-month or a 12-month, and then you put together their program design. And so you're just so ready to go when you sit down with that individual. And then they know that you are someone who cares, you have integrity, you're somebody who really believes in what you do based on the work you do up front. And so I look at this no different than if you were working with a builder. Cade, imagine if you had a contractor who said, all right, we're gonna build your house, but he never had a blueprint. Well, how would your confidence be in that builder?
There would be none.
He's like, well, you know what? I want to have the flexibility to change the dimensions, and maybe your footings can be, a little wider. I'll call somebody when it's time. I mean, we're just on the foundation. We just got to excavate first, Cade, and then we'll get, then we'll get more serious about it. Okay. And then by the time the house is built, it's all jacked up and it's too late, right? It's like, there goes my investment. So.
Yeah. And I think where we've seen like this came out of necessity. I don't know. This is a beautiful format. We've had previous renditions where it was a lot more simple, or not simple, but just like a sheet with, it just wasn't as digestible, I guess. I love how this is set up and formatted. So it helps simplify the process, but ultimately this helps save like refunds or people that feel like they don't know what's going on. Because especially you'll have those fact finder patients that you meet with them, you tell them everything that's going on, what the plan is, but unless they have something in their hand when they walk out, it's like they still just don't get it.
Yeah.
So I think this is so critical, because then you don't have the same conversation 35 different times. You have it once, you got a copy of it, they have a copy of it, and it's just makes it nice and clean.
Yeah, and then when you come up to their re-exam, you just layer on things, and so it's a fillable format. So it's something that should be easy for everyone to use. So, all right, so get your thyroid going. Make sure that you guys are. Oh, thank you, Robert. Inked by Jeb Blount. Blount, yeah. Okay, great. Okay. Oh, Annie sent me the final copy. All right, good. Thank you. I'll delete this one, but I got to give it to the patient first. So I'll spell check. All right. So Cade, summary. Let's summarize today. So we're ramping up for thyroid or whatever condition you're doing your marketing for. Get the message out. People don't know you exist if you don't reach out to them. Yes, you want to do a solid patient referral program. Go meet some of the medical doctors in your community, but really you got to get the message out. And then once they come in, have preparation, get your programs put together. If you don't have those built out, do that right away. Have your program design in front of you with the programs, and so that the patient has an easy pathway to make a decision to do something that could be the very best thing they've ever done in their life. Hey everybody, Regan Archibald here with Go Wellness. And if you liked this episode, if it actually helped inspire you to be a better practitioner, help more people, establish a much better foundation for your business, then I'm going to ask a favor of you. And that favor is for you to share this with somebody you care about and love in the healthcare field. I don't mind if it's an acupuncturist, a functional medicine practitioner of any sorts, a naturopathic doctor, a medical doctor, any type of endocrinologist or specialist. We need to get this community strong, and we can't do it without your help. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the hard work you're putting in and day out. I know it can be a grind, especially with some of the chronic cases that you're treating, but this show will help transform the way that you think, help transform the way you practice, and change the lives of thousands. Thank you for being part of our community.